Hey, thank you so much for clicking this video. In case you are wondering what is Laravel, this video is for you. I am Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. This is my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach coding and user interface design. Have you asked someone, maybe a lecturer or a parent or your friend, what is the best way to do something? Let's say you want to cook whatever meal, or you want to go to a certain place, maybe a town or a different location, and you ask your friend what's the shortest and what's the safest way, or what's the easiest route to that place. So more often than not in life, we want something specific, we want something concrete, we want we are minimizing mistakes, we want a better result, and also we want quality. That is a general quest. We all want that. It's life. We are seeking not necessarily perfection, but we want to get things right. Nobody enjoys pain and suffering and getting things wrong and doing it again. So I want to explain Laravel from that perspective. If you are a developer, particularly a PHP developer, obviously you once asked yourself, what is the best way to build an application? Like a way that will set you up for success, minimize the errors, make maintenance and scalability comes at ease, or make it simple. Then the answer might be, obviously I'm not saying that is the answer, but it might be Laravel. So what is Laravel then? Laravel, it's a framework, it's a PHP MVC framework that makes building web application easy. It takes hold of all the technical, detailed, intensive part of building a web application, and then you can build on top of it. It's more like a platform for you to build whatever that you want to build. So let's break this down and make it simple to understand. Since it's a framework, let's look in real life what a framework might be. For instance, in front of me I've got a house framework. Okay, as you can see here, we've got different houses or house types or shapes of houses, and also they differ in sizes, but they are all illustrated as a framework. They are all house framework or house plans, I can say, as you can see here. So this means that from a framework you can build, like, what can I say, different types of houses from a framework. As you can see, this is a house framework. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but it's a house framework. And also there are things that are common, like in these diagrams, meaning that they all conform to a certain form of creation. Like, you don't see a shape that looks like a car here. So a framework is more like a building block, as you can see. So from it you can build whatever that you want to build. And also, as you can see, that it's not decorated. It doesn't have like beautiful things like beautiful windows, what can I say, roof tiles and beautiful colors and the walls. Those things are not there. What you see, it's only the some sort of the essence, the bone structure of a house. So Laravel is like that on an application, on a PHP application. It's like that bone structure that enables you to not to lose the shape or the perspective when you are drawing. It's like it sets a perspective, let's say guidelines or rules or constraint, so that your drawing can be perfect. But in this case, the drawing will be the web application. So that's what Laravel is to web application, particularly PHP. And also Laravel is not just a framework, but it's an MVC framework. So MVC stands for Model View Controller. What is MVC? MVC, it's an architectural design pattern that is highly on separation of concern. What do I mean by separation of concern? Let's just take one of technological principle that a device must have an input, a process, and an output. So that doesn't mean the input is more important than the process, and the process is more important than the output. But this system of doing things, or this way of doing things, first of all, it partitions the whole process into three simple and easy to understand chunks, or processes, or sub processes, I can say. The ones that deals with the input, and the one that processes the input, and the output. So if you take that approach, or that system in mind, MVC is more like that. It's a structural or architectural design pattern that states that there must be a model, which is a model. It's going to be a certain portion of whatever application that will deal with connecting to the database only, and it specializes in connecting to the database. So that maybe if you have hired a database specialist, they can only deal with that portion. And then you've got the view. The view, it's more like the face or the front of the application, and also it must only deal with that. It must only be a view, so that when we want to change it, we can easily change it without breaking the entire code or the entire application. So it must be a view. And then we've got a controller. A controller is between the model and the view. It's more like the process. So it receives input from the view, and it processes, and it gives back the output still to the view. And then the database is the one, the model is the one that will connect to the database. So Laravel, it's an MVC PHP framework. So we know what a framework is, we know what Laravel does generally. This means then it's an MVC architecture. That means it conforms to this standard of architecture. This is how it has been structured. So it has been structured in such a way that there are controllers, there are views, and there are models. And then since we've mentioned that Laravel, it's a PHP framework, then we must know what is PHP. Okay, here it says PHP is a general purpose scripting language geared towards web development. Okay, nice and sweet and straight to the point. So PHP, it's a server-side scripting language. What do I mean by server-side? I mean it doesn't run locally on your machine. That means it runs on a server. So what are the advantages of that? It means that you can access it, let's say, anywhere at any time and anyhow, as long as you've got a server, or let's say you've registered your own domain. That means you can log into an internet cafe and write a PHP script and run it online. However, there is a piece of software which is called XAMPP that enables you to run PHP locally. So you can also run PHP locally, or build a web application locally. So with that being said, now we know that Laravel is more like a framework. It's a framework, and also it's an MVC framework, particularly PHP MVC framework. So that's what it does. So with let's say, now let's just put this into some sort of the context. Let's say you are a developer, or you've been asked to create an application. You don't have much time, and also let's say the application, it deals with more sensitive information, and also it's for a big company that where security it's a concern. Let's say you've been asked by a bank company, or you've been asked by lawyers, or you've been asked by government. Obviously you've got the skills, necessary skills that it takes to build the entire application, but you are afraid that there might be things that you what can I say, you might not be good at. It's not your area of focus. For instance, let's say security, and then instead of building the entire application on your own, you decide to look for a framework, and then you find Laravel on the internet. So what Laravel will do for you, it will give you a structure, a skeleton to build from. The skeleton is safe and secure, meaning that it cannot be easily hacked. I don't want to say entirely at all it cannot be hacked, because this is life, things happen. But it's we can say like it's a bulletproof, like let's say 99.999, because it's maintained by professional developers, people who are always finding ways of enhancing or increasing the security of the platform. So in terms of security, you can even assure your client, the one that has hired you, that this application is going to be bulletproof, and also you are going to use some sort of high-end framework. So meaning that they can trust if you are saying that it has been built by Laravel, and this is what is Laravel, and this is what Laravel does. Secondly, what might be of value to the client is that, let's say they hire you and you build the project for them, and then you guys part ways. You reach the end of contract, meaning that the client can hire another Laravel developer to continue and maintain the website, as long as the developer is familiar with Laravel as a framework. So Laravel comes with a lot of things. It has got an ecosystem. Like, there's a lot of things, like I think also here there might be some payment gateways. It has got also the interface, the user interface part of it. It has got a lot of things, like it makes your life easier. You just plug and play, and that's it. Hence here there is the Laravel ecosystem. So when you get into it, you don't only get a framework, but you also get some, we can say, plugins or extension around Laravel that makes your life easier. So what does that mean? That means that the production time is some sort of minimal. That means you can quickly get into the problem domain. For instance, if you are asked to build an accounting system, you can quickly get into building it, instead of laying the foundation, the grounds, routing and login and whatever. So that's what Laravel can do for you. It means that you can quickly build an application and show your client and quickly deliver. Okay, so that's about it. So in case you are new in this channel, this is a series of videos around the application that I'm building, which I wanted to be more practical and to be a production level application. What do I mean by a production level application? This is what I mean. Most YouTubers, coding channels, obviously we teach you concepts just for learning, and in most cases we even tell you that this is not for production, this is not something that you can deploy. So I decided to take a different route to actually try to build an application for production, something that I can deploy. So as you can see that this application is running live on a server under this domain, codeddesign.co.za. Coded Design, it's my channel, it's my some sort of business, and it's something that I'm busy with at this point in time. It's all about coding, design pattern, good programming practices, and solid principles. So as you can see here, I'm also debugging at the same time, testing things. So that's why we have this empty array here. But however, this system at the moment, it can do a code verification, and then it can send a code verification. Don't save. Okay, maybe there is something that I did in the back end, since I'm busy maintaining it, but it can do a code verification. You can put a code here and then go to your email, refresh, and then you take the code, come back to the app, copy and paste again, and continue. So this is my channel and this is the series. So if you want to learn more about design patterns and advanced PHP skills, please make sure that you visit this channel and then subscribe. In the next video, since I'm very high on design pattern and solid principle, then I'm going to show you on a Laravel application how Laravel is using design patterns. Otherwise, I'm Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer. Thank you so much for clicking this video. If you feel like this video added an overall value or value into your overall understanding of PHP, Laravel, and also the other things, please make sure that you help me by subscribing. Otherwise, thank you so much. For me, see you on the next one.